Everyone, this is our third class on herbs, and tonight basically we're just going to talk about all the different ways you can prepare herbs, and we're going to try some herbs. So and I'm going to kind of make it a little bit of a game. Some of the ones that might not be super easy to figure out what they are, if somebody can guess what they are, I'm going to give you a free tincture bottle, herbal tincture. So that might be fun. And I actually have a lot more than what's here, but this will probably be like overwhelming enough to your taste buds and your senses, just these. So, and we're just gonna have fun tonight. Next week there's gonna be a lot more information, because we're gonna talk about specific health conditions and what herbs help with specific health conditions. So diabetes, blood pressure, cancer, or whatever. So tonight we're gonna have fun. So first of all, herbal teas. And I have 100 bulk herbs there, and I think a lot of people are confused and intimidated on how to use herbs. And to be honest with you, I don't make it complicated, because if it's complicated, I'm going to feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And if, for the average person, same thing, it can be very overwhelming, like figuring out how to use these herbs. Well, I try to make it as simple as humanly possible. I like to drink teas. I was never a big tea drinker before. It also helps that I'm sitting in my office right here next to 100 different herbs all day. So it makes it pretty simple for me. But I use powders, and one thing I do that's different than almost anyone else I've seen, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong or whatever, but I take the powders and I put it in my tea and I drink the whole thing, powder and all. Okay? Because to me, there's no reason not to. I mean, you're just going to get the benefit of the entire herb that way into your body. Because if you just add some powder to hot water and let it sit for 5 minutes and then pour it off, well, that's great. You're going to get the benefits that are extracted in that 5 minutes, but you're not going to get the whole benefit of the whole plant. So I've never really understood why all the teas we make, we do that way. So that's how I do the powders. Now, again, I'm not saying you that's right or wrong. A lot of people have texture issues, so eating the plant might be gritty, or it might be, I don't know, just a weird texture in their mouth and they don't like it. I mean, I know people who don't like certain foods because they don't like the texture of that food. So everybody's a little bit different, so you have to figure out what works for you. But one of the things I list in here under the tea section is just the different things that people use to filter teas. Everybody's got like those little tea balls, or what I call extraction bags, which is basically just like a cloth mesh bag, and you can use a powder with that. And it's just a reusable tea bag. You can add the powder to it, make your tea, and then flip it inside out, wash it, and reuse it like 1,000 times. So it makes it super easy if you don't want to get the grittiness of the powder in there. And also depends on the herb you're using. Some plants are going to have more grittiness to them than others. So, for example, like the medicinal mushrooms and stuff like that, I love those in water. I think they mix up really good and they taste really good. You get the benefit of the whole plant. But there's other things that don't work quite as well. Okay? So you guys have to figure that out for yourselves. But I just like to make it in tea form because it's super duper simple. You buy powder, and just cost effective wise, you buy a box of tea. And I'm not saying not to buy boxes of teas, because that's convenient. They're in little bags for you already. You're all set, right? But you get 20 bags, and if you really look at how much is in each of those little tea bags, there's hardly anything in there. I mean, the whole box probably contains a total of like 1 ounce of herb. So by buying it in bulk here, it's a heck of a lot cheaper, and you can get a lot more benefit at it and use more herb to get more benefit out of it. Okay. So that's just a couple ideas on ways you can use them. So teas, like I said, it's super duper easy way to get your herbs. Basically, I only follow 2 basic principles when it comes to making herbal teas. If it is a flower or a leaf or something like that, you always do what's called an infusion. And by the way, just so there's no confusion, how many people know the word tea doesn't really mean all herbs? Tea is actually just the tea plant, like green tea and black tea and white tea. But we use the term tea as like this blanket universal term. Okay, so really if you want to use the technical term, you'd say I'm Would you like an herbal infusion? So that sounds kind of funny, but anyway, so just use tea, whatever. But I just thought I'd mention that because it's kind of funny. But so yeah, when it's a flower or a leaf, you just want to do an infusion. And I do have some herbs that are in their whole flower form, you know, like chamomile flowers and things like that that are in their whole form. And those you don't need to boil. Okay, you just boil some water, add the tea, let it steep for 10-15 minutes. Another funny little thing is, have you noticed how all of our coffee mugs have handles on them? Like, have you ever had a coffee mug without a handle on it? Anybody? No? Okay. Coffee mug without a handle on it. Yeah, okay. So if you go over to Asia, you know their coffee mugs don't have handles on them? Do you know why? If it's too hot to hold, it's too hot to drink. Yeah, they're smart. They don't burn their mouths all the time like it. I mean, I've been drinking tea for years and I still burn my mouth. Like, I got skin flaking off the roof of my mouth and I'm like, what am I doing? I guess I'm too impatient. I don't have to wait for it to cool. So make sure your tea is cooled before you drink it. Or buy a handleless mug. It'll make it easy for you. If you can't hold it, you can't drink it, right? So, and then roots and barks, you always want to boil them to extract the properties of them. Again, I'm different. Some people might say weird. That's fine. I don't care. But I take roots like liquor. Like, for example, my tea. I left it in there. Mom, would you mind grabbing my tea? Thank you. It's right on the thing in there. But every day I drink holy basil with licorice root tea because it builds my adrenals, and I just love the effect of holy basil. And but the licorice root, I put the whole root in there. The actual little bits of root, and by the time it's cooled. Oh, it's not in that cup right there? Oh, actually, the herbs are in there. If you could just add some hot water, please. Thank you, Mom. But Mom's important. So I will just, after it's been in the water. No, the hot water right here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So after it's cooled down, those roots have really softened, and I will literally just chew them and eat them. If anybody ever eaten like whole licorice root, like licorice sticks, like licorice root sticks, I mean, they're really super good. You probably wouldn't take the whole stick and eat it and swallow it per se, but with the little pieces you can. And the same thing, I have a lot of roots that are in powder form, so that makes it an easier way to do it as well. But if you actually have the root, you want to boil it for 10-15 minutes, and then you strain that off normally. Yeah.
So the mushrooms that you have in powder form, you still do the infusion method?
Yes.
10 to 15?
Yeah, all the mushrooms.
But you don't strain it, probably.
No, I don't. I never strain it. Right. And I mentioned that earlier. If you want to strain it because you don't like the texture and that's like weird to you, you absolutely can. But I think it's beneficial to get the whole plant. Okay?
You don't stir it up and look like mud at the bottom.
Right, yeah. Sometimes it'll sit off the bottom. You'll have to keep stirring it. Exactly. So choosing the best water is important. You guys know I'm always big on quality water and minerals in your water. So just, don't drink your tea with tap water, in my opinion. Okay? And that's not just because tap water is not great. I mean, there's literally chemicals in the tap water that can contaminate your tea, like the chlorine and the fluoride and things like that. So use a quality water when you're making your teas for sure. How much should you use? Really, that's up to you. I always recommend people do a teaspoon of powder in a cup of hot water. Okay? If you want to get more, of course you can add more, or you can just do it multiple times throughout the day, depending on the herb. Again, are you using it for medicinal use? Are you using it for a tonic use or a nutrition type of herb? So like the Chinese tonic herbs, you can do it multiple times throughout the day. You can do more. Holy basil, I usually recommend people doing it throughout the day as they need it, just because holy basil is so good for anti-stress and anxiety, and just really helps people get through the day. And even if they take it at night before bed, it helps them sleep and relax. So you can just continue to do it throughout the day. But general rule of thumb, teaspoon in a cup of hot water once or twice a day is a perfect way to get your herbal tea. And then there's a bunch of other information on there we don't really have to go over. Yeah.
Possible to heat it too much? For instance, we like at night we'll put it in a crock pot, put it all water and herbs in a crock pot and just have it on low, and then next morning it's ready.
I think that's great. I think that's a perfect way to do it. And since you mentioned that, here's another thing you can do. like Steve said, you can put herbs in a crock pot. I actually have used astragalus and ashwagandha as like a soup thickener. You just put it in a crock pot and it thickens your soup, and it tastes good. So you can put them in crock pots to extract them. Another thing you can do is you can actually do you can even do a cold water infusion. Like say you don't like to drink hot tea, okay? You can actually put the herbs in cold water and put it in the refrigerator and just let it sit overnight. Let it sit for 24 hours. The herbs will still extract into it. Okay, so those are just some different things you can do. For people who really don't like dry powdered herbs, you can put them in capsules. You can buy them in capsules, and that can be expensive. And if you've noticed, I don't have all the different herbs in capsules because, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I just think that's kind of a waste of money and a waste of time, because you have to take a lot of capsules to get a little bit of herb, okay? Even like with the oils, you know, just to give you an example of measurement-wise, I'm a big fan of the Udo's oil. Okay, I recommend people take 1 to 3 tablespoons a day depending on what they need and what else they're eating in their diet, if they're eating other fats and things like that. But some people don't like the oil for whatever reason. They're like, can I get it in capsules? I'm like, sure, you can get it in capsules, but to get a tablespoon of oil, you got to take 12 of those capsules. Like, who wants to take 12 capsules? You know, that's crazy. So that's why it's easier to me to find other ways to do it. So instead of taking 6-8 capsules of holy basil, you know, just put a teaspoon in a cup of hot water and drink it. You know, it's much easier that way and much more cost effective that way. Much more cost effective. But for people who want to take herbs and they really don't want to make a tea out of it or put it in a shake or a smoothie or find other ways to take it, you can buy. I have this little capsule machines, and that's what I did when I first got into herbs. Like there were some herbs I didn't like, so I made little capsules, and and you can sit in front of the TV and make like 24 at a time. People do that. That's fine. So you can do that as well. And then let's see. And then I give you a couple of teas that I have here in the store. One is called System Cleanse Tea, and I just kind of gave you the formula for them. And the Angel Tea, which is Essiac tea. Does anybody know the story of Essiac? A couple of you do, yeah. So just to give you a quick rundown on these two teas, because you can buy, I have it already pre-made, or you can get the herbs and make it yourself. But the System Cleanse Tea has anybody here taken the System Cleanse Tea before? You have?
Yeah.
This stuff's like crazy powerful. It is a full body cleansing tea. It's got herbs in it for the lymphatic system, herbs that cleanse the blood, herbs that cleanse the colon. So it's a great cleansing tea. The word of warning I'll give you is it's not the best tasting tea. Would you say that's accurate?
I didn't seem to remember being that bad.
Okay, well Steve's used to a lot of this
I know,
stuff.
I know.
It's really not the best tasting tea.
Yeah.
It's not the best tasting tea because there's some pretty powerful herbs in this formula. So this gives you a recipe on how to make that. The Angel Tea, the herbalist I work with, who I got a lot of this information from, is one of the master herbalists I trained with in Las Vegas, Angela Harris. And and just so you know, on a thought on that, the System Cleanse Tea, this recipe, this is the herbal formula that she used to cure herself of her non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. She was given 3 months to live while she was pregnant. Doctors told her she wouldn't live more than 3 months. Regardless, even if she lived more than 3 months, she'd lose her baby. Isn't it crazy that doctors tell people things like that? Like they have any idea. But anyway, so she started taking these herbs. Her lymphoma started going down, ended up completely disappearing, had a completely healthy child, and 20 years later, she teaches people about herbs. So it's a pretty cool story. Her whole story is on her website, angelaharris.com, if you want to look it out. She's a really neat lady. So the Angel Tea is the Essiac formula. So there was a gal named Renee Case. She had ended up getting cancer. She had breast cancer. And she put this 4-herb formula together to rid herself of her breast cancer. It was so successful that she used it on her mom, and then she used it on her aunt, and everybody's breast cancer disappeared. So then she kind of went crazy with it because she had a good heart and she just wanted to help people, right? So she started, and she happened to be a nurse, which was kind of a dangerous situation for her, even though this was a long time ago. She started sharing this like with the world and just helping hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And eventually they kind of cracked down on her. And I don't even remember the ending of the story. Does anyone know what ended up happening with her? I don't know. But anyway, she shared this formula with the world. And, even today, we sell the herbs in this formula. We cannot call it Essiac. Obviously, we cannot say it's beneficial for cancer. But I will be more than happy to let you know that these 4 herbs cured thousands of people of breast cancer. Okay? And I'm not to say that that wouldn't work for other cancers as well. But she specifically used it for breast cancer. And so I have this angel tea that you can make yourself. It's just the dry herbs, and you can you can make it yourself in stainless steel containers. And then the Flora Essence tea, if anybody's heard of that, from Flora, they're a German company, and the Germans are like really big into herbalism and natural products, and homeopathy was actually founded in Germany. And they have a formula called Flora Essence tea, which is the original Essiac formula, these 4 herbs, and then they add 4 herbs to make it a total body cleanse. So they add lymphatic herb cleanse, lymphatic system herbs, and a couple other things to make it a full body cleanse. That's one of my favorite cleanses, like especially for beginners. It's super easy. You just do an ounce twice a day in warm water, and it cleanses your whole system. It works amazing.
Do you eat while you're doing that?
Yeah, you can eat while you're doing that, absolutely.
It's not
Yeah,
like that's
I mean,
all you're doing.
I always recommend anytime anybody's doing a cleanse, of course, do your best to avoid dairy and meat and some of the things that, causes some of the congestion in our body while you're cleansing. But by no means do you have to stop eating or fast or anything like that. Yeah.
On the angel tea, it says 1 cup herb mix makes approximately 1 3/4 gallons. Is that 1 and 3/4
1
gallons?
and 3/4 gallons. Yep.
It seems like a silly question, but.
Nope. Okay, so tinctures. Tinctures are fun. It's not something that the average person normally does, but you guys might be interested in doing it. But you can tincture almost anything. Now, there's a whole school of thought and methodology behind different extraction methods and different, I can't think of the word, but different things you use to extract the herbs. And when I say that, I mean like alcohol versus glycerin versus apple cider vinegar versus water. I mean, there's different things you can use to extract the herbs. Traditionally, people have used alcohol. Throughout the years, it's been alcohol. Almost, I would say, like 90, I don't think I'd probably be exaggerating if I said 90% of the tinctures you'll find will be alcohol-based. Very few people use other extraction methods because the research, at least throughout the years, is they found that using alcohol, you can extract pretty much anything. If you use different sources like vegetable glycerin and things like that, you can't necessarily extract all the nutrients and all the different parts of the plant. However, one of the herbalists I trained with, Carl Robinson, who works for Cedar Bear Naturals, which his herbs we're going to be trying later, he has found a 5-step method using vegetable glycerin, and he's able to extract every constituent out of every plant he's ever found. Okay, so just to give you an example, okay, there's resinous herbs like myrrh and boswellia, and they say you cannot extract those resins without using alcohol. If you use vegetable glycerin or something else, you will not be able to extract it. Okay, he did it. Mushrooms, for an example, they say the only way to extract mushrooms is through hot water. Okay, nothing else works. He did it with vegetable glycerin. So that's one of the reasons I really like his herbs. When you taste them, you can just taste the purity of them. You can taste the purity of the plant in those herbs. So I'm a big fan of his products, and he has a huge. He's also like a scientist guy. Like, you ask him like, why do you use vegetable glycerin versus alcohol? And be prepared to sit down for dinner for like 3 hours, because he will give you like the whole breakdown and the whole spiel. But for me to summarize it in 30 seconds, is alcohol denatures and renders inert a lot of different plant properties and plant constituents because of the harshity of the alcohol. The vegetable glycerin doesn't do that, and in fact it's a better preservative, and there's more nutrients in the vegetable glycerin versus alcohol. So there's a lot of reasons he uses the vegetable glycerin versus the alcohol. And he's the only company I know of that does that. So If you're not going to make your own, those are the tinctures I recommend. And I don't even have any alcohol-based tinctures. I just use his because I think they're the best and they work phenomenally. So, but if you do want to make your own tincture, it's pretty easy. I give you basically the recipes here. How many parts of herb versus how many parts of vegetable glycerin or alcohol, or depending what extraction method you want to use. Yeah, Tom.
So a tincture would be like a homeopathic medicine that you just drop on your tongue?
It's not homeopathic. We're just talking about herbs here.
Okay.
But yes, it's a liquid. It's basically just a liquid extraction.
Sounds like it's
all
harder
a
to do
tincture
than
is.
just hot tea, though.
Yeah, it's a little more complicated process. But the thing is if you want to make a huge batch, like let's say August, September, black walnuts are falling off the trees. Okay, you can go around and collect 3 huge baskets of black walnuts out of anybody's yard for free. Okay, and you can buy a couple of gallons of whatever vodka or whatever kind of alcohol you're going to use to extract it, and you can make up jars and jars and jars of it. You can make up like 3 gallons of this stuff and have the highest herbal known source of iodine known in the world and have it for years because it doesn't go bad. So you can make up large amounts of it and use it and things like that.
Okay.
So there's benefits to doing it. And plus there's a lot of people that believe, and it's true, that taking liquids gets immediately into the bloodstream, it works faster, it doesn't have to go through the digestive system. And it's true because a lot of people, and especially in America, I mean, we have a lot of poor digestive systems in America, and people aren't absorbing things properly. So to get it in a tincture form that's already been extracted for you, and you drop it under the tongue, right into the bloodstream, it works immediately. I can give you a perfect example. I love holy basil tea. There's holy basil tea right here. I drink it every single day. However, if I take the holy basil tincture, or the new chapter has a holy basil supercritical extract, which is a concentrated holy basil, and I pop that under my tongue, literally in 30 seconds I'm like, I mean, just you can feel the effects of the holy basil immediately. Okay, much more so than you can with the tea. So there's definitely a benefit to doing it both ways. Okay, so I give some more information on compresses, decoctions. Decoction is basically like a tea, except what you do is you boil it down, okay, and you make it concentrated. So what would be an example of a good decoction? Let's say somebody is anemic, okay? The highest known herbal source of iron that I know of is yellow dock. Okay, I have yellow dock powder, okay? So what you would do is you take the yellow dock, and normally you don't, well you could boil yellow dock because it's organic, but what you would do is you put it in water just like you would a tea, but you'd use a smaller amount and you boil it, okay, until you evaporated most of the water off, and it basically becomes like a thick syrup. So a decoction is almost like a syrup, okay, and it would be much more medicinal because it's like concentrating the plant into a thick syrup. So again, if somebody's anemic, you take an herb like yellow dock, which is your highest source of iron, you concentrate it into this syrup, okay, and then you have a medicinal effect to help somebody with that issue.
How do you
Okay.
take it? Under the tongue or?
Yeah, just under the tongue. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and yellow dock, if you do that, it doesn't taste real great. It's really strong, but yeah.
Why does putting it under your tongue make it go straight to the bloodstream? I'm
Because it absorbs more.
Because it absorbs straight into your veins, straight into your blood system. Because when you swallow things, like your intestinal tract is I don't want to say it's not connected to your body, but it's really not connected to your body. I mean, if you go from your mouth to your butt, it's a single tube. There's no, it extracts through fine little things in the small intestine. It only nutrients get through the walls, okay, of the intestinal tract. So if your colon is, say, full of, I don't know, meat and dairy and cheese and pop and everything else we eat in America, and you're taking a bunch of herbs, people don't absorb them very well or utilize them very well. So if you drop it under your tongue and you let it sit there, it immediately goes into the bloodstream. And you know that because you can feel it. You do that with deer antler, I do that with holy basil. There's certain herbs I always put under my tongue because I know I get that immediate effect from it.
well, that stuff that you got me is for the liver. It kind of stings. Is
Uh-huh.
that supposed to
It shouldn't sting, but
really kind of burn just a slight?
that's different. That's
Well, that's different.
that's not an herb. That's homeopathic.
Okay.
And those are actually
Alright.
alcohol-based. The
Okay.
homeopathics are. So that's a totally different animal.
All right.
But
Do you put it under the tongue because the membrane is very thin there also?
Yes,
and it goes
absolutely.
quicker into
Yep.
the blood?
Yep,
I thought-
yep. The technical term for that is a liposomal delivery system. Okay?
What?
Liposomal delivery system.
Okay.
Basically, there's membranes under the tongue, so it doesn't matter if it's water soluble or fat soluble. It'll immediately absorb into the body when it's put under your tongue. Okay. So then salves. Salves are always fun. I give some recipes for some salves here. Did I put the comfrey plantain? Yeah, the drawing salve. Okay, so I did a class at the Tasteful Olive. I think it was last fall, and we actually made salve in class. And it's so simple, and it's totally fun, and you can do it, and it's super easy. And I have all the ingredients here if anybody wants to be bold enough to try it. So I'm going to go to, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 salves I gave you here, but look at the one that says drawing salve. I'll just talk about that one specifically. Okay, so this is comfrey and plantain, and this salve has crazy, crazy amounts of uses. And if my mom wants to speak about it, I would like her to, because she's used this salve for multiple different things, if you're willing to share it.
Sure.
Thank you.
This is my favorite item. One time, oh, I love doing that.
Come on, camera.
I had some very hot coffee and I burned my leg. I mean, it was so painful, and I put that comfrey on it and had to keep putting it on, but it healed it right up. It stopped burning, no scar. It was just wonderful. And it's just so great for sores and comfrey. It's just plain that comfrey salve, yeah.
How
And-
often were you
Comfrey
applying it?
salve, where's that?
Huh?
How often were you applying it? Drawing syrup?
I just kept putting it on. I don't know. I can't
Yeah, you can
remember.
apply it liberally, you know.
Yeah, very liberal.
Once it soaks in, you
Yes,
reapply it.
Feel it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was about to go to a doctor because my hemorrhoids were so bad and so horrible, and the burning was so horrible. And I put on the comfrey day after day for a week. Gone.
It never came back.
Never came back.
Would that be good
Gone.
for someone that has like bed sores or pressure
Absolutely.
sores? I bet that
Yeah.
would.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what's really good too for that too is iodine.
Oh, iodine?
But the salve would be great too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's no problem using it in mucous membranes, Jones tag, and that type of stuff?
Oh, not at all. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think she uses that for everything.
I just love
She
it.
loves
It's
that
just
stuff.
the most wonderful
Yeah.
stuff.
I was thinking with what your mom says with the burns and stuff,
Uh-huh.
you know, females, for instance, who get radiation for breast cancer,
Right.
they always have problems, or often. With,
Sure.
Do you know if this one, have you heard of anybody using this for that specific
Specifically for
problem?
radiation burns?
Yeah.
No. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work, but I can tell you 2 things that specifically work great for radiation burns. Lavender essential oil and iodine.
So what is it in the iodine? What's some property? That
It's antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal.
Okay.
I'll give you a great example of iodine. I had a woman I just saw 10 days ago, and she had a lump on her breast, and she's had it for 20 years. She's had it forever. Not cancerous, you know, so she wasn't really concerned about it or anything like that. But I said, you know, you should get on iodine, because iodine is critical for breast health, ovary health, thyroid health. And so she started putting it on the lump, and she was taking it internally. 1 week, it was gone. She came back 1 week. She goes, you know, that lump I had, it was gone. And that's amazing. Linda next door, who specializes in women's breast health, she's seen lumps disappear overnight doing certain exercises and iodine. Overnight.
And what type of iodine do you use?
Well, I use the company I was telling you about, Cedar Bear, who has those amazing vegetable glycerin-based tinctures. I use his iodine. If you want to know why he says his is the best in the country, I can print out the 30-page scientific document he wrote about it, because believe me, he goes into all the details. But most of the other ones, again, are alcohol-based. and he believes in the vegetable glycerin. And his is powerful. I've had a lot of friends, like Brandon, for example, who works for Ultimate Superfoods, who's very knowledgeable about this stuff and very into herbs. He says that iodine is the best he's ever seen. And there's some really big name iodine out there. So this is just as good, if not better, than what everything else on the market, in my opinion. And I have a lot of benefits with people with that, men and women both.
So that's for eating too?
What's that?
That's for putting in your...
Right, yeah, for putting it under the tongue too.
Because, you know, a lot of people are saying to start doing the iodine because of the radioactive material.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Maybe in the food out in California.
Yeah, there's been a whole wake-up call with thyroid health and the importance of iodine because of what happened in Japan. So, like, we don't think we need it here. Yeah, you need it here anyway, regardless of Japan. So, iodine is critical.
Isn't 25% of the people in the United States lacking iodine anyway?
At least. I would say more like 75%. But, yeah, absolutely.
And if it...
We don't eat iodine-containing foods. Can anyone name one food they eat that contains iodine?
Seaweed? Seaweed?
Yeah, if you eat seaweed. How many people eat seaweed? Okay. If we took, that's about a third of you, that's good. If we took 30 people off the street, how many would raise their hand? Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, you definitely need iodine.
Will this also work for hematomas? I've had people who have had biopsies who are still having problems with the blood. Pooling, yeah.
You don't want to ever put it on an open wound,
Mhm.
okay? But definitely on anything closed. It'll definitely heal.
Okay.
Heal it
So
much
how does
faster.
it work on bed sores then? Most bed sores are open.
Well, I guess it depends on the where the bed sore is at.
Okay.
The stage of the bed sore.
Okay, how
So I'm
deep
glad that
it
was
is.
brought up.
So if it
Yeah.
has a scab
how deep
over it.
Right. If it's already started to scab,
Okay.
hit it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll heal it
So-
faster. Yep.
Yeah, this is talking about that huge bump under the skin type thing again.
Yeah.
So the wound itself is not open to the hematoma, but they're having problems getting the hematoma to dissolve and
Right.
stuff. So.
And plus, you know, it's called drawing salve for a reason. It actually draws toxins and poisons out of the body. So you can put this on, so it might work for that. You know, of course, I don't know for sure.
Right.
But I don't see any reason why it couldn't help. But drawing salve, which means it'll pull out toxins and poisons from an insect bite. Okay, it'll pull out a sliver that's stuck down under your skin. Okay, so it'll draw things out of your skin as well. So that's another great use for that. And the one my mom didn't mention that I have to mention is that she had double knee surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
That's right.
double knee surgery, and I said, as soon as your surgery's over, put this on your knees every single day until it heals. And if you get a chance, go look at my mom's knees, if you don't mind. The doctor, the doctor told her, like, I don't know the exact words, but something to the effect that I've never seen a wound heal that fast and that clean ever in the history of all the surgeries he's done.
Yeah.
And it was this salve that she put on that every day. So post-surgery, perfect. Okay, so that's why I like to talk about that salve, because there's just so many uses for it.
Plantains dried or fresh?
Either or. You can absolutely use fresh. You're going to have to use a lot more.
Okay.
Probably about at least 2 to 1
Okay.
of the amount. If you can pick fresh, that's always the way to go. Yeah.
Would it work for cold sores, like herpes, something like this?
You know, it might, but cold sores and things like that is more of a problem in the intestinal tract. So that's going to maybe help it temporarily, but it's not a long-term solution. The long-term solution is fixing what's going on in the gut.
So you
That's
said
why
it's
people get cold sores.
intestinal tract. Great. And then what about children's excitement?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's not going to get rid of it. Again, that's an internal problem. With children, it's usually from eating dairy products and sugar and things like that. It's a problem with the intestinal tract and the liver. Okay, but it will soften it, and it will cut down on the itching of it. But it will not make it go away. Because I've tried it on multiple people, and it does not make it go
that's exactly
away.
the itch, and it gets worse and worse, and you
Right, so it
cannot
helps with the
get rid of
itch.
it.
Right, it's not going to make it disappear. I'll tell you what actually works better, if you're going to make it. The Golden Seal Myrrh salve above that actually works better for the eczema.
Okay.
Okay? And the Shaga skin cream I have in there, which is the Shaga mushroom blend with essential oils, works excellent for all skin conditions, even melanomas.
The black salve, what is that for? The rest you tell me, but that one.
The black salve, it doesn't tell you because that's been used for cancer.
Okay.
Okay? So they didn't want to say cancer.
Well,
So
you know, powerful form should be used with wisdom and respect, but
Yep,
I need the wisdom first.
Cancer.
Yeah.
cancer. So any time of external growth you don't want to be there.
Okay.
Okay? So to make the drawing salve, yeah, the directions are here, but it's really not hard. I know it just seems, you've never done it before, it seems like it's going to be hard. I'm going to tell you how easy it is. Crock pot, okay? On the warm setting, okay? So make sure the crock pot has a warm setting, which is the lowest temperature, obviously. You're going to add in your olive oil, you're going to add in your comfrey, you're going to add in your plantain, 3 ingredients. You're going to stir it up. Okay? That's it. You're going to let it sit for 24 hours. Okay? Might stir it a couple times, you know, if you think about it. Stir it up a couple times. You're going to let it sit for 24 hours. Okay? The next day, you're going to strain out the herb. So you're going to need like a muslin cloth or something to strain the herb out, like into a bowl. Okay? You know, basically separate the plant from the liquid. Okay? Then you're going to put the liquid back in the crock pot, add your beeswax until it melts, put it into jars. It's really easy. I mean, I did it in a class in less than an hour. So it's really easy. And the cool thing is you can take this recipe and multiply it by 8, you know, and make like 20 jars of this stuff and, you know, give it to your whole family. I mean, you heard just in a short period of time, just from my mom, like 4 different uses for it. You know, so it's got a lot of applications. And actually, if you don't want to go through all that trouble, I do have it in the store, like, where you can just buy it. Okay, so that always helps. Oils are fun. Garlic oil. I'm a big fan of the Tasteful Olive in downtown Overland Park. They have a lot of infused oils that are really, really good. But you could really make your own. You just take olive oil, you stick it in a jar, you throw in some garlic cloves, and you let it sit out in the sun for about a week. And you got garlic fused olive oil. And it tastes amazing. You can put it in your ear, you can put it on salad dressings, okay, you can put it on sores, you can use it for sore throats. I mean, there's a million things you can use it for. And you can do that with other herbs too. You can take dandelions and stick them in olive oil and let it sit in the sun. I mean, you can do that with anything you want. You can totally be creative and have fun with it. Okay? Has anybody done any of those, like infused oils or anything?
Garlic.
You've done the garlic one?
Yeah.
I'm doing
I've done
one
garlic.
just because I want to. I didn't
Oh, yeah?
know, but I just put some herb and
Great, go for it. Not going to hurt anything. What have you done?
Yeah, rosemary, basil, and just, yeah.
That would be good. Ooh, Mom would like that. Do you hear what she said? Rosemary and rosemary infused olive oil. It's her favorite herb on the planet, rosemary.
I've done the garlic tea whenever I've had colds.
Oh,
And
cool.
it really clears out your throat and everything.
Nice. Absolutely. Good stuff. So mullein oil. Mulleine's a great one for the ear as well. What else did I put on here? Poultices. Okay, so these are basically like little packs you're going to make up to put on a wound. The comfrey, it doesn't talk about plantain in here, but one story I heard was a hospital. A guy had really bad burns on his legs, and they were giving him antibiotics, but nothing they were doing was helping. And they ended up taking plantain and making a poultice out of it and laying it across his legs, and his legs healed up like in a couple days. So very powerful healing effects.
What is plantain?
Plantain is that weed that's in everybody's yard. We can go outside and look at it if you want. No, it's when it blooms, it's got the little stalk that comes up, and that's psyllium seeds that are on it. But it's got there's a thin leaf and there's a broad leaf. There's a couple different kinds of plantain. But it's the one that sits in your yard, and it's low level, and it's a green leaf, and it's got an oval-shaped green leaves coming out. That's in every yard. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay. Okay. Well, if you guys want, when we're done, we'll go outside and I'll show you what plantain looks like. It's everywhere.
Can you use that plantain? Because it has been sprayed, you know, and all that.
Yeah, here it might have been, I don't know, I'm assuming they probably spray a little, yeah, I was going to go get some plantain.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I mean, it's best to get it out in the wild for sure. Good point. Yeah, because here it's probably been sprayed. Your neighbor's yard's probably been sprayed. You know, so
Your yard.
you don't want to take the chance of that. Yeah. So, well, I don't have a yard. I have an
My
apartment.
yard sprayed, yeah.
So I won't go too much more into that, but poultices can be used for so many different things. There's a banana peel poultice you can put on warts. I had a really bad wart that was really frustrating me because I couldn't get rid of it. It was right on my heel, and it rubbed with my feet and everything, and man, I had it forever. It was driving me nuts. And the way I finally got rid of it, and I know it's going to sound kind of old school, but I think there was a book written about like all the multiple uses for duct tape.
Yeah.
But I took a fresh garlic clove, and I would cut a strip of fresh garlic and duct tape it to the heel of my foot, and I had to do it every day for a month, but that wart is gone forever. And it actually, the black like root of the mole came out. So it works. It's just warts take a little work.
Did people kind of stay away from it?
Yeah.
Something else also works great for warts.
Oh yeah, the stem of the dandelion. Yeah, break the stem of the dandelion and reapply that every day on the wart. Also works very well. Thank you. Yeah. When my dad comes back in, we'll make him go out and get some dandelions.
I think we know those.
Hey, we need dandelions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, my animal loves them.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Oh, it's soft.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have that in my yard.
Usually it's not that big. Usually they're smaller leaves. But okay, so
The heel sores, was that what you said?
yes, plantain heel sores. Absolutely.
Supposedly really good for bug bites.
Yes, bug bites, insect stings, bee stings. Yep. And actually what you can do, if you need it in an acute situation, like if somebody just got stung by a bee, you grab a plantain leaf, you chew it, okay, and you put it right on there, and it'll take the sting away right away. So, there's a bread and milk poultice, which to me sounds weird, but my mom said that, what did you say?
When I was little and I gotta have some boils, and my mother put bread and milk on it, and it drew out the poison.
There you go.
Worked.
So, and then the clay poultice, clay just has such powerful drawing properties. Instead of spending a lot of money at the spa. Thank you, sir. So, does anybody know where the word dandelion comes from? Dandelion, which means
Teeth of the lion.
Lion's teeth.
tooth of the lion, because these look like lion's teeth. It's French.
You know,
So,
they used to say that the plantain leaf also,
uh-huh.
during the Second World War, the soldiers would put it in their boots
Oh, sure.
because it would heal.
So they wouldn't get
They just,
scabbing and stuff on their feet.
And I thought,
Makes
same
sense.
today when you walk a lot
Oh, I'm
of people,
sure.
they just put that in their boots.
Yeah, that's great. So if anyone wants to play with the milky pus of the dandelion, have at it. Any takers on that one?
Someone told
Have
me
you had dandelion and dandelion salad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put it on any abnormality on the skin. So skin tags, moles, things like that.
Plantain?
That,
The dandelion.
The
What's that?
dandelion.
the mullein, is that leaf that's like hairy?
Which
And
one?
it has
Mullein?
Thank you. I didn't get
Yes.
and it has a yellow flower.
Yes.
They have the leaf.
Yeah.
So you use only the leaf, or do you use that yellow big
You
flower?
use the leaves with the
Only the
mullein.
leaves?
Yep, so they're the real soft leaves.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, and they're just, like they haven't flowered yet, they're just starting to grow. They're all over Shawnee Mission Park.
It's good for the lungs too then.
It's great for the lungs.
What is the one
Yep,
I'm
you can
thinking
actually
of?
roll the leaves up and smoke them, and it'll pull all the congestion out of your lungs like that.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Everybody always laughs when we talk about smoking herbs, but we're talking about mullein,
Well,
and it will immediately pull thick mucus out of your lungs. Yeah. So, oh, okay, so that's really
How did
it.
you say you roll up the leaf and do what?
Smoke it.
Light it and smoke it.
Gotta dry them.
You're like,
Soon it has to be a little dry.
yeah, you want to. It works better if it's dry, of course.
All right.
Yeah.
But smoke and lungs don't go together.
It does to pull congestion out of the lungs. You're not going to do it every day. You're just
Alright.
going to use it for that quick, acute situation.
Okay.
Might just need to do it a couple times. Pull all that gunk out, and you're done with it.
I know you know what you're talking about. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. So now we're going to play a little taste test, and so get ready. Let me try. I'm going to try some maybe slightly harder ones first, and yeah, I don't know if anyone will get this, so I'll start with this one. Okay, so you only need to do a couple of drops, okay? And just feel it on your tongue and just feel the taste of it. And just don't look at the label when you pass it. You don't want to try it?
Well, I gotta be careful because I'm allergic to like milkweed and
Okay.
a lot of.
Sure.
Otherwise, I would say yes. As long as if I know what the ingredients.
Okay, cool. Well then, after we've done some, then you can tell us which ones you can do. You guys have any idea yet?
Got black pepper.
Sweeter than I thought it would be.
Most of these are sweet because they're all vegetable glycerin based, which is a bonus for a lot of people because they like sweet things anyway, and it's good for kids that way. So
How does that affect on diabetes?
zero effect on diabetes.
The
Yep.
glycerin?
Nope. So since some of you have tasted it now, as you start to taste it, notice how it feels on your tongue. This is a hint. It kind of dances around your tongue. You might notice different tastes besides just sweet. Did anyone notice that?
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
black pepper.
starting to, yeah.
So you got a peppery taste.
So I know what it is.
Anybody else?
Yeah, peppery
You know what it is?
taste on
Don't
that.
tell anybody then. Anybody notice any other tastes? Notice anything?
I thought it like apple. I don't know.
Happily? It's unique. It's a fun one to start with because a lot of the other
It's
ones
like
are
honey to me.
pretty easy.
Yeah, I
It
got a
did
little
at the
bit of
start.
honey.
It tasted
Yeah, it
like
starts
honey.
at like
Probably because of that
honey.
glycerin.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll get another one going here.
It's kind of earthy, isn't it?
So you know what, Steve knows what it is. He's pretty sure he knows what it is. Anybody else have any idea?
Not by taste. By your
Huh?
description. By your description.
Just because of the description? Yeah. Well, and I talked about it. It's a Chinese tonic herb. There's a hint.
Oh, that narrows it down.
There's only, what, 10,000?
Right.
Okay, it's one of the superior 22 Chinese tonic herbs.
Oh, that's good.
That narrows it down.
Just 22.
It's 22.
That's way richer.
That was gonna blow up. right?
So I'll give you guys a hint. These are all the ones I've given you so far, are Chinese tonic herbs.
It's more of a, ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
It's a little more of a kick.
That's always fun when you're like, I definitely know what this is.
My problem is I never drink a tea by itself. I was mixing 5 things together.
Right,
Tea, so-
right.
I have no idea.
Okay, so Steve, what was the first one?
Schizonderberry.
Schisonderberry. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Schisonderberry is the only Chinese tonic herb that has all 5 flavors. So if your tongue's really sensitive and you're in tune with that, you would taste sweet, salty, sour, bitter, pungent, which was the black peppery taste. Okay, you'd notice all those different tastes. Okay, does anybody have idea what the second one is or the third one? Nobody on the front row? No clue? Okay.
I just know I've had the first one before, but I can't.
Okay, let me give you one that's pretty easy. So you probably know what this is, so don't shout it out right away.
Yeah, I guess it's an easy one.
What'd you think of that?
I know what the third one
You know what the third one is?
is, because I bought some last week.
So what
I've
did
been
it-
drinking it.
Yeah, see? That's good. Okay, so what is that one?
Juggling?
Jogulin.
Juggling.
Very good. Very good. Awesome.
You notice any difference or what's?
I've only had a cup about 3 times
Oh, okay.
last week.
Do you
Of
sell?
course, they didn't have my health assessment. on
I don't have the
Friday.
vegetable
Oh,
glycerin.
all right.
I can get it. I can actually get it on my next order. The herb garden where I get my herbs and stuff from, they have it. I can easily get it. So I just didn't want to buy it.
Discussing your
Nobody was going to use it, But
Gets the
if you want some,
bottom
I'll
of
order some.
okay.
I think where we got.
And they got a really good food grade high quality. It's kosher certified, all that kind of stuff. So, and that's the other thing with Cedar Bear's herbs. They're all kosher certified, which is cool. It's like a really high standard. They don't even use they don't even tincture deer antler because it's an animal product. They can't because everything they have is kosher certified. And the other easy way to use these, by the way, is just tea. Put a couple squirts in hot water, and you got instant tea. So that's always fun.
That'd be good to add some of that.
Okay, so does anybody know what the second one was? I don't think anybody guessed
The
that.
lemon thing, wasn't it?
This one here? I thought you said that was the,
No, this one.
oh,
No, that's the second one, just the third one.
The second one was astragalus.
To me, it tastes like mushroom. The second one.
And the third one is the Jiaoyuan.
I think they begin to taste the same.
I know,
Yeah,
they all
yeah.
taste like honey to me.
They all taste like what?
They're sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll taste like honey to me.
Okay, let me give you one that'll here you go. Here, do that one. You guys tell me when you're
Ooh, I warned you.
the Jogulin?
Is there any good poultice or salve or anything that's good for poison ivy? Rashes?
The drawing salve would help with that, absolutely. Yeah, and then I got homeopathic tablets that work really fast for that, actually.
I got it.
It's that 'tis the season for the poison ivy.
Yeah, I just snipped something off my tree yesterday. I was just like, I hope
Really?
I didn't get anything on me.
Yeah.
So I'm looking and I have huge patch, like big as this room, patches of poison ivy.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm coming down here.
So do you guys know what that fourth one was? I'm sure you guys know what that one was. What was
I
it?
started tasting about like the Diageo.
Peppermint.
Peppermint, yeah.
Wasn't it?
Peppermint?
Ah,
This
Yeah.
one?
Is that one for this?
you didn't
Oh, yeah.
sense that?
Like,
No.
I didn't get
Really?
that either. I think it's peppermint.
I would have been able to tell that, I would think.
And what's interesting,
Row is taste impaired.
I don't know, I mean, what's interesting about this company is you get a real sense of what the herb really tastes like. Because their extraction method is so pure that this is exactly what the herbs are supposed to taste like. A lot of times our senses have been dulled, just, because of the food we eat, the sugar, the salt, all that kind of stuff. But also we're used to all those artificial flavors, the peppermint candy canes. You think there's peppermint in there? Of course not. It's all synthetic stuff. So this is like the real taste of the plant. So, are you guys ready for a couple fun ones?
Oh, yeah.
We haven't had fun yet?
When you do these
are very distinct.
I was gonna say,
So
what
you
does
will.
fun mean to
These
you?
are very distinct.
I don't like that one.
Just 1 or 2 drops of this one.
Oh, it tastes like old shoes.
Oh, that's a nice one.
It's a good thing I didn't pull out the valerian because it tastes like dirty socks.
Yeah.
It really does taste like dirty socks.
Yeah.
Smells so bad, but it'll put you to sleep.
Yeah, don't do a full squirt. Just do a couple drops because
Yeah, that works.
I'm telling you, after about 20, 30 minutes of doing this, you'll be like, woo!
When you do these, how many drops should you do?
It recommends, depending on the herb, it's usually 1/8 or 1/4 of a teaspoon, which is the serving size. A dropper full is 1/8 of a teaspoon. So usually it's 1/8 of a teaspoon, which is a dropper full, once or twice a day. Okay. So you guys know what that one was?
This one that you just bought?
Yeah.
Getting your...
Nailed
Was
it?
it? Yeah, now you say it.
Now you say it.
Yeah, the aftertaste.
Yeah,
You're
the
right.
aftertaste, yeah. Okay.
I've had it enough.
Pickle with sushi.
Yep, aftertaste. Kind of like sushi.
We'll just do a couple more.
There was a ginger one already.
So, if you pull the peppermint out of your yard and you crunch it up, it wouldn't taste the same as that, would it?
No, just because that's extracted in the vegetable glycerin, so they're all going to be a little bit sweet because of the vegetable glycerin.
Yeah.
That one,
You know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that one I love.
Because the aftertaste is
Yeah.
great.
I can drink a whole bottle of that.
What did I just Huh? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, kind of
baking.
We'll let one of you, if you haven't guessed one yet, and you know what that is, just holler it out.
What is it?
I know that one too. So you say that the glycerin is like okay on the body all the time?
I don't know. If you were to ask Donna Gates, as strict as she is, she'd probably say no. But it has been tested and it's shown not to affect blood sugar levels at all, and not affect diabetics at all. You know, if you had a severe infectious issue, yeah, it could be an issue. You know, but so would alcohol.
Yeah.
You know,
But
so
early on, Andy and I were doing some glycerin-based stuff. I think because we knew we could, but maybe thinking it might be okay.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can find myself doing a lot of that. Get some sweet.
Yeah, it gives you the sweet taste. It's going to make your drink a little bit sweet, and you're going to get the benefit of the herb.
Yeah.
That's kind of a nice way to go.
That'd be good to add some cloves.
Did anybody know what that last one was?
I know that one.
What is it?
Clove.
Clove.
I know that
I'm like, I know this taste.
Yeah.
Here, we'll start one back here with Angelita.
Cigarettes. I recognize this taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we'll just do like one more. I mean, there's so many of these. Hey, this one's always fun.
Well, after going outside, after we've had this about a half hour, we're going to start growing weird things or something.
If you do-
Tinctures.
Hey, if you do, don't call me.
That is
Good. Very good.
You know what it is?
Tastes. I know what it tastes like to me.
It is what it tastes like.
Is it?
Yeah. Especially because it's in vegetable glycerin. And it is. Do you know what it is? You haven't guessed one yet.
Well, it kind of reminds me of chocolate, kind of. Well, no, that's not what it is.
Oh, this tastes just like what it is. You don't know what that
Well, that's the one
Yeah, that does taste like chocolate. Gosh, I'm not alone there.
Yeah, it does taste like chocolate.
And this is cinnamon. It's just like both of these.
Okay, this is probably going to give this away, but I don't want
You
to
mix them together, you get.
frighten anyone.
Yeah.
But I have two here that are hot. So if anyone wants to try anything hot,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I want to try some hot, what's in it?
this one's hot. So I want you to, there's two I'm giving you that are hot.
That's the only one that I can really. I could tell cinnamon.
I thought I was over here.
I only have one drop of
It's not on
it.
there.
I can't taste it.
You know what that is?
Yeah, oh, I eat out of that.
You want to try it or not?
Just a drop of these guys, all you need.
It's going that way.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I didn't even really taste anything.
I have no sense of the thought.
It's not like the North American,
What?
but it's not like the North American herb one that's concentrated.
Yeah.
It's still a hot plant, so.
Down there.
Is that the hot one?
But this one for sure, you only need a
That's a
drop.
good one.
Okay.
Like this.
This is what I think this
Yeah.
We
is.
take 30 or
What would be
40.
the best? It's good.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
That one's hot.
That's not
That's a good one.
Probably the cinnamon.
Cinnamon
Yeah.
and.
Yeah, you only need one drop.
And any of the tonic
Yeah.
jog is amazing for diabetics. Yeah. So if they want something sweet, it's not going to affect their blood sugar and get benefits, the jogulin would be good, the cinnamon would be good.
Okay.
Definitely a
I'm
bird.
guessing with that one.
I actually have a sugar stop formula, which is a blend of herbs by this company. It's called Sugar Stop. It's got the gymnema and other herbs in it. Yep. Did you do a whole dropper full? You're like,
What if we
oops.
skip that?
Yeah.
Did you say cinnamon for blood sugar?
Yeah.
That one you have to.
Oh, it's
hot.
okay.
Here's one more that's a little spicy. We'll stop with that one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is what I tell all my patients.
Do you? Oh.
Why is there water in a little?
This will cool it.
That one
It's coming this way.
This is the one that cools it?
It's not hot.
Say, that would be.
Is that good?
with the-
Yes.
You can taste the purity of it, can't you? I mean, it's amazing.
this one, but I couldn't.
Good.
And anti-inflammatory.
You're not doing any of the hot stuff?
That's a good one.
It gets a little bit warmer, the longer it sits on your tongue, but I don't think it's hot.
I think that's the hot stuff.
That's the hot one.
As I swallow it, I can feel the heat going down my throat.
Oh yeah, that one came from the back. Huh?
I didn't get that one.
I started that one back there.
Oh, okay. So I was like, I remember. That one's not really hot. Not near as hot
it's
as
not.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The only one that was really hot was the Cayenne.
Oh, that was Cayenne. That was Cayenne.
The one you hollered about, yeah.
Oh, okay, that was Cayenne.
That's not bad.
Alright.
It's not bad.
The one was one cacao.
Yeah, the one was chocolate, by the way.
That's 30
That's
seconds.
cacao, which is, cacao is a naturally bitter plant. Okay, but it's in vegetable glycerin, so it tastes sweet. So talk about something that you can just put over, well, I shouldn't say this, but put over ice cream, or put in a tea, or put in a smoothie if you want to make it chocolatey. You know, that's an easy way to do it.
I like it, man.
That's why they add sugar
Of course, I have habanero sauce.
Right, exactly. So it tastes sweet, exactly. Yeah. So I have like 30 more, but I don't want to totally overwhelm you guys. Because I've been to Utah where this company has and done this 3 different times, and we probably did like 3 times as many as we just did. And you feel funky afterwards. I mean, it's a lot on your body. And you know, all these herbs have a medicinal effect, so you're going to feel the effect. Does anybody feel something from it? I mean, feel different, feel a little flush? Yeah.
What is it the Cayenne does? Because we just did the master cleanse with water, lemon,
Yes.
and then you put a dash of Cayenne in it.
I would probably say,
Water, lemon, and maple syrup, that's what it was.
yeah, I would say from what I know about herbs, I would say Cayenne has the most historical, beneficial use of any herb known on the planet. It's going to help with your digestion. It's going to help with your circulation. It will stop a heart attack or a stroke. It completely clears all the mucus out of your body. So it's the main reason it's in the Master Cleanse is it pulls mucus and cleans your intestinal tract.
Yeah, get that.
Okay, it's and you can use it for almost every health condition you can possibly think of. It'll break up clotting in your body if people are prone to clots and things like that. There's just thousands of benefits of cayenne pepper.
Probably is because we both had
Right. Right. Yeah, it's great for that. It's great
You're
for
the
that.
first one who last several, nobody knew.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, cayenne's amazing. And it's great for strengthening and cleaning the digestive tract too. Also, if you're a meat eater, take cayenne pepper before your meals. It increases the production of hydrochloric acid. So I have a product called Digestive Fire that I make for people. It's a paste. I use fresh garlic, fresh ginger, and I add cayenne, turmeric, and horseradish. And that will fire you up. And it's very good for people who run cold. They're cold all the time. They have weak digestion. That stuff is amazing
I
for that.
do. Do you have that? Like
I sell it in a little jar. It's a paste, and you just take a quarter teaspoon before meals.
What
Kind
is
of
it
play with it in your mouth. I call it Digestive Fire. I just made it up myself. Because it helps people, so especially
It works
for
like
me.
an enzyme in a way or something?
It does, because ginger is going to have more enzymes than any other plant when it comes to digestion. Cayenne is going to increase the hydrochloric acid production and the production of your other gastric juices. All of them are heating herbs, okay? The Chinese refer to the stomach like it should be a boiling cauldron. That's what the Chinese say. So you need to have lots of fire in your stomach. And most of us don't, just because of the diets we've eaten over the years. So it helps put the fire back into the belly. So, all right, well that was an active session.